Before sunrise, the camp of Israel begins to stir. A low hum of anticipation hangs in the air, thick as the morning mist rising from the Jordan River. Ahead of them lies the river itself wide, swollen with spring floods and raging with untamed power. This torrent of water is the final barrier, the last obstacle standing between them and the promise of God, the land they have dreamed of for 40 long years. For 3 days, they wait at the water's edge. 3 days of watching the relentless current, of feeling the ground tremble with its force. 3 days of quiet contemplation, knowing this is a path they have never walked before. The memories of the Red Sea partying are stories of their parents, legends of a past generation. Now, it is their turn to trust. The officers move through the camp, their voices clear and firm, cutting through the tension. They give their command. When the people see the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chests carried by the Levitical priests, they are to break camp and follow it. The Ark is a visible symbol of God's presence, and it will lead the way. There must be a space between the people and the Ark, a respectful distance, a reminder that they are not following men, but God himself. He is the one who will forge the path forward into the unknown. Joshua, their new leader, gathers the people. His presence is steady, his voice filled with authority from on high. He looks out at the faces. Before him, faces reflecting a mixture of awe, deep-seated anticipation, and a very human fear. Days, Tim, consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you. This is a call to prepare their hearts, to set themselves apart for God. This crossing will not be won by their military strength, their strategic planning, or their sheer numbers. It will be achieved through holiness and simple, radical obedience to God's command. As the people prepare, Joshua stands apart, his gaze fixed on the rushing river. In the quiet moments of communion, a subtle light seems to surround him. The Lord speaks directly to him, not in an audible voice for all to hear, but in the certainty of his spirit. Today, God promises, I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of all Israel, so they will know that I am with you as I was with Moses. This is more than a personal affirmation for Joshua. It is a sign for the entire nation. The God who led them out of Egypt is the same God who will lead them into the promised land. The authority, the power, and the presence of God are unbroken. The moment arrives. The priests lift the heavy, gold-overlaid Ark of the Covenant onto their shoulders. They walk with solemn purpose toward the riverbank. God gives a command that defies all logic, a command that requires absolute courage. When the priests reach the edge of the Jordan, they must not stop. They must step directly into the churning, violent river and stand there. Imagine the faith required to walk into a flooding river, trusting that God's word is more real than the raging waters surging around their feet. They obey. At the very instant their feet touch the water's edge, the impossible happens. Upstream, far away at the city of Adam, the river simply stops flowing. The waters that were rushing toward them begin to pile up, held back by an unseen, divine hand. Downstream, the water flows away toward the Dead Sea, and the riverbed slowly, miraculously, becomes dry ground. A wide, firm path appears where a rushing flood once stood, a highway carved through the heart of the river, with the Ark held high. The priests walk to the very middle of the Jordan and stand firm. Their presence in the riverbed is a constant, visible anchor of faith. And then, the people begin to move. Tribe after tribe, they walk across the dry riverbed, their eyes fixed on the priests and the Ark. Every family, every child, every warrior, the entire nation of Israel, passa safely to the other side. They walk on ground that should be underwater, protected by a God who makes a way where there is no way. As the last person steps onto the far bank, a new chapter begins. The sun sets, casting a golden glow over the now tamed river. The footprints of a nation mark a path from the wilderness toward their destiny. On this day, the impossible became a pathway. Deep-seated fear gave way to unshakable faith, and Israel stepped fully, finally, into the promise of God.